everybody, I'm Latrina Patrick. I am so excited to kick off this 90-day grant writing tutorial here on YouTube. This is something that I've never done before, and I'm really excited to do it because I've taught tons of workshops over the past 10 years, and it's one of my absolute favorite things to do. So this is a great way for me to share that knowledge in a setting that you can access my information anywhere in the world, and that excites me tremendously. Basically, you're going to get this information as a grant writing workshop spread out over 90 days. That is really appealing to me. It's going to be taught, the intention is to teach this workshop from a basic grant writing perspective. So in the very beginning, as I'm setting the foundation, it's really going to be taught on a beginner's level. However, as we advance through more topics about grant writing, regardless of your expertise level, whether you're intermediate or advanced, you will still gain some nuggets that I am certain will help you to take your levels and your skills to the next level. So I encourage you to plug in and stay tuned, because you really will gain information that's going to help you overall. I do this all the time, and I learn something from myself every time I do this. So I really hope that you'll stay tuned throughout the process. I have been doing grants for over 10 years, and not just writing grants, but consulting with nonprofit organizations. I've run several nonprofit organizations. I have reviewed grants for the federal government as well as many state agencies. So I bring all of that knowledge to you in this experience, and I don't take it lightly, and it's such a value to you, I assure you. If you want more information about my background and my experience, you can visit my website at www.greatervisionconsulting.com, and you can pull up the About page and you can find out more information about my background, and that will be very helpful to you. So, but what I'm going to do is, starting out today, I'm going to keep it really basic, and the videos are not intended to be extremely long. This is not a forum that's going to allow me to teach you for an hour or so, and that's not really the intention. The intention is to give you substantial nuggets, inside information that you just normally won't get, and for free. That's the best part, is that you get all of my knowledge for free in a forum that is convenient for you and quick. So you'll get quality over quantity, and I think that we can both appreciate that. And it's going to build. So today will be very basic, and I'll cover just what a grant is and who's eligible to receive grants, but we're going to build on that. We'll talk about what it takes to become a 501c3, why you need to be a 501c3 to be eligible for grants, the types of funders there are who award grants. We'll talk about the components, each component that goes into writing a grant proposal, which is going to be extremely beneficial for people. And on the other side, once you submit your grant, what happens then? I'll talk to you a little bit about the review process and what the reviewers are looking at when you submit your grant, as well as the ultimate being when you finally get funded, what happens next? That's a big question for a lot of people. So I'm going to walk you through all of that over the course of the next 90 days. So you definitely want to stay tuned. You definitely want to share this link with as many people as you can who you believe will benefit, because it's really going to be a blessing to them. I want to give to you, and I hope that you'll continue this gift of giving by sharing it with people that you know who you are certain will benefit. Okay? So, starting out today, we're going to keep it really basic, and we're going to answer the question of, what is a grant? A grant is basically money that has been awarded to you by a particular funder that you don't have to pay back. A lot of people say it's free money. Yeah, it's free money, but you definitely have to work for it, and it does cost you something, because if you want the money that's out there, and there is a lot of money out there, you have to put in the work, and that's what this process is about, to teach you how to write a successful grant, a grant that is getting funded. So a grant is awarded to you that you only have to, you have to put in the work to get it, but it's money that you don't have to pay back as long as you do what you said you would do. So what you're putting in your proposal becomes a contract between you and that funder, and they expect that you will do what you said you would do. There are certain people who are eligible for grant awards. Most of the time, and when we talk about funders later this week, who funds grants, but most of the time, funders require that you are two things. Number one, a nonprofit organization, and also a nonprofit organization that has a tax-exempt status, which is a designation that you get from the IRS, whether it be a 501c3. We're going to talk about that later this week. 501c(b), which is so many different levels to that. There are more than 20 different designations from the IRS around that, and I'm going to share those with you later this week. But most funders require that you're a nonprofit organization, meaning that all of your funding goes back into the organization, or that you have a tax-exempt status by the IRS. Let's talk about why that is. In order for you to have that they want you to have that tax-exempt status for one big reason. Granted, most people, most organizations who give awards, grant awards, they do it because they want to help their community around certain areas of focus that they care about. But also, it's not just altruistic behavior from them. The big thing about it is they get a tax write-off. So corporations that give, and lots of corporations give out grant awards, they give because they're going to get a tax break from the government for doing so. So if they're giving you a grant award and you're not a nonprofit organization with that tax-exempt status, then they really are giving their money away. So that's usually not the case. Now, when it's a state agency or a federal agency, that's a little different. So they don't always require it. Most of the grants from the feds don't require it at all. They will list who's eligible, and most of the times they don't require that you be a tax-exempt nonprofit, but a lot of times they require that you be a nonprofit. So we'll talk about that. So today I just want to leave it there with what a grant is. That's money that's awarded to your organization that you don't have to pay back, and also that who the eligible parties are typically nonprofit organizations with or without a tax-exempt status, but definitely with a tax-exempt status. And in the next couple of days, we're going to talk about what that 501c3 means, what those designations are, and a little bit more about who are the various funding agencies, and I'll break those down for you. So that's just the basics of what you're going to get today. And I hope that you will continue to tune in. And if you have any questions or comments about this episode or future episodes, I really encourage you to leave your comments here on the YouTube channel so that we can expose the questions, and people who have similar questions can look at it and get responses that they need as well. If you need special attention or a very specific case that you want to ask me about, please feel free to send me an email at lpatrick@greatervisionconsulting.com. lpatrick@greatervisionconsulting.com. So that's today, and I look forward to coming back tomorrow where we pick up where we left off. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will see you tomorrow.